Okay, got one last forces at angles problem for you. So, we've got Batgirl fighting her one of her villains, Mirror. Not even Mirror Man, just Mirror. And fun facts: Batgirl has a mass of 50 kilograms. The ground is still pushing up on her, so she's not airborne yet. He hit her really hard, but she's still touching the ground, and the ground just happens to be applying a relatively small force of only 42 newtons. Batgirl is staying on the ground while being hit by a mirror. He's hitting her at an angle of 50 degrees, so you can see it right there in white. All right, he punches her right in the gut. You know, hey, even the superheroes lose sometimes. So right here we have this force of 50 degrees, and we want to know what force did he apply to her to make this happen? Just how hard did he hit her? All right, that's what we want to figure out. Okay, so I want you to give it a shot. And then once you think you're ready or totally stuck, either way, you can unpause the video. So let me phrase that. Pause video, give it a shot, and then we'll come back, see how we can do, okay? All right, so pausing video. Ta-da! 584 newtons. That is like huge. I mean, that is brutal. Considering that's like, what is that like? Well, I guess that's not horrible. It's like 150 pounds, I guess. Somewhere in that ballpark. Is it more? I don't know. It's something. I'll look into that for next time. I'll go, next pausing. Now, if you didn't get the right answer, again, I'm always gonna say draw the force diagram. Okay, if you didn't draw a force diagram, I can't help you until you do that. That's the first step. Okay, so I'm gonna reveal my force diagram to you. Now, if you didn't draw a force diagram, please draw one now. But I'm going to reveal my force diagram to you. So here's what I did for a force diagram. There's my force diagram. All right. So you have the normal force pushing up from the ground. This is the y component of this angled force. This is the x component of the angled force. And I have chosen Batgirl as my system. Okay. So let's just do a few clarifying things here. Ta-da. So again, I have chosen, there's my system. Okay, Batgirl is my system. All right, there's my system. So that's the 50 kilograms. And then this force here is at an angle. So we have a force normal in the y plane, and then we have a force normal in the x plane. All right. And so I had to break those up, so they end up over here. Notice she's probably going to go flying a little bit this way because we have an unbalanced force. If you want to include friction, then you'd say, oh, I'm going to say she stays there. So then you'd have the force of friction pointing over here, and you could say they're balanced or unbalanced. The problem does not really require a frictional force to solve it. So you got some options there. All right, so with all that being said, now, at this point, go back to the drawing board. See if you can now calculate the normal force acting on her by the ground. All right? So give it a shot. Pause the video again, give more tries, and then I'll come back and tell you the answer. All right, come back to find the answer. There you go. There's my work. All right? I always write out my net force equation. I'm solving it for the y-plane. I have three forces I'm going to add together in the y-plane. The ground is pushing up positively. The punch is pushing up positively, so those are both positive. Gravity is pulling down, so it's a negative. So I have normal force minus normal force in the y-plane minus force of gravity equals 0. Now I got to sub and solve. So this is a y component, so I got to figure out the y component of that angled force. So I got to use my trig. All right, no, nothing about it. Now I didn't know the force, but I could leave it as a variable. Don't fear the variable. All right, because if I wrote anything, technically this is F of n. That angled component, that hypotenuse, is your normal force. Force of gravity is mass times 9.8 as usual, and I know the ground is pushing up with 42. So we now have an algebraic statement with only one variable. We can solve and get ourselves an answer. All right. So hopefully that was helpful, hopefully that was beneficial, and hopefully you got that right on the first time and did not have to listen to me babble. If you still need guidance and help, please recheck those videos. Feel free to come in and get some guidance from me, and good luck on the assessments.